All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. And for the first segment, we're taking a deep dive into the future of luxury and future-proof homes. Our discussion will take us through the recent market trends, innovative differentiation strategies, and the integration of home automation and customization. Featuring top developers in the segment, discover how they ensure the long-term value and appeal of their projects in an ever-evolving market and gain valuable insights into desires of landed home buyers in 2024 and 2025. So for the first segment, we have a fireside chat, and the topic is the future of luxury, exploring landed home buyers' desires in 2024. Let's welcome on stage Development Manager of Frex Capital, Ms. Joanne Tong. Let's put our hands together. At the same time, we'd like to invite Mr. Raymond Phua, founder and CEO of PLB Land. And last but not least, and the moderator of this event, Director of Client and Engagement of PropertyLimBrothers, Mr. Wayne Tang. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Excited to see all of you here. Today is the first segment where we're going to talk about future homes. And with me, I have Joanne and Raymond. Maybe for a start, just to give a quick introduction of yourself. Joanne, first.
Hi, I'm Joanne from FRX Capital. I'm in the development team at FRX, and I oversee the project and development management. At FRX, our projects range from luxury boutique landed residential and also to condo projects.
Hi everyone, I'm Raymond from PLB Land. I'm the CEO and founder of the company. Well, you know, I do everything in the company. I oversee every aspect of the company, although I do have a team. We deal with medium to high-end landed properties in Singapore.
Thank you, thank you. So today's segment, definitely for my segment, is all about the future of homes. We're always talking about technology. You know, in fact, today we have our VR booth right there that allows our customers to actually view the landed homes in a virtual reality reel. So it's all about new technology. So to kickstart the whole entire fireside chat, maybe the first question I have prepared, right, just to read it out, is that in the industry, we often heard the terms future-proofing. So where buyers will always want to buy a home that is future-proof. So what do consumers expect in a future-proofed home, and what sort of steps do you as the developers will undertake to ensure that every project that you oversee is future-proof?
When talking about future-proofing, we are really looking at how can a house stay relevant and still meet your needs in the next 5 to 10 years, right?
Right.
So I think right now, people are really looking at energy efficient solutions, sustainability solutions such as EV chargers, solar panels, green roofs, and also smart technology. But you know, the important thing about future-proofing a home, it's that we also cannot overdo it, because for example, smart home technology, I feel that it's best to go for Wi-Fi based connectivity systems rather than hardwired systems, so that in the future, if you have to upgrade the system or you want to change something, it's more convenient and easy to reconfigure. So I mean, that's the essence of future-proofing, right? Trying to plan for what's unexpected. And also flexible planning. Because, you know, sometimes a family grows, you need to reconfigure certain layouts, and we also have to plan for multi-generational living and the aging population.
So by that, do you mean that, you know, having a lift inside a house is like one of the future-proofed things that you're looking for?
Definitely. I mean, like, maybe 20 years ago, right? Having a lift in a house is like, wow, oh my gosh, you have a lift in a house, that's so cool, that's so luxurious.
Right.
But you know, in today's context, you know, people's spending power has increased, and you know, it's easier to get home lifts as well. It has kind of become a necessity already. And we do encounter buyers that will not consider a property if it doesn't have a lift. So, you know, although we cannot predict trends in the market, we can prepare for it and, really, how do I put it? Think of what is the next home feature that can be commoditized,
Right.
from being something that is a luxury to that will become something that's essential. Yeah.
How about Raymond?
So the usual suspects, as Joanne has mentioned, for future-proofing, obviously would be technology. So a lot of homes are now fitted with smart home systems. Now, smart home systems can be very simple, can be very complicated, but it can be catered to every home's needs, every homeowner's needs. You can have an elderly, for example, if it was a smart home system, the controls to the smart home systems do not need to be coming from a mobile phone. I mean, it can also be from a physical switch, so that the elderlies don't have to get confused about these systems. Now, of course, obviously, there are also systems like EV chargers. Nowadays, we're moving towards that direction. So EV chargers is certainly a must in a lot of homes these days. Solar power panels is another aspect. Now, delving a bit more about what Joanne has mentioned, flexibility of home designs. We like to engage in what we call open plan designs for the houses, where we don't put too many core pillars into the center of the house, where it makes it really difficult for the architects or the future the buyer in the future to readjust his homes, to adjust spaces within the houses. We know that we're going into an aging population, so homes are getting smaller, but yet more people are wanting to live together. So obviously there's the issue of multi-generation, where the grandparents, the parents, and the children are living together. So how do we accommodate that? So back in the early days, the granny rooms are seen on the ground floor, for example. Nowadays, because of lifts, you don't really need to have granny rooms in the ground floor. So you use lifts to do that, but how do you make sure that lifts can be, so we have lifts that are big enough to fit a wheelchair and someone that's holding the lift, just in case the grandparents need to, traverse the area through a wheelchair. Of course, there's also the consideration of steps in the house. In the past, you have multi-level living rooms. These days, we try to keep the living rooms and the dining rooms on a flat level, so that the wheelchair or any, the disabled elderlies are able to traverse that area as well. So this is we can talk more about this if you guys want, and I can be seen dwelling in this place here. We can talk more about this question.
Yeah, thanks. I think the key points that I keep hearing is basically smart home. So I think smart home is something that people get take for granted really. It's like when you buy something, you expect that it comes with a smart home features, it comes with a lift. Granny's room is usually not on a level 1 right now because if there's a lift. So I think those are the key things that I'm hearing about future-proofing, plus also, of course, the solar panel and the EV charging. So I think these are some of the attributes that we are seeing quite a fair bit in today's home. So now when we look at the target audience, so for developers, definitely you also want to know who are your target audience, and I'm sure you also have your own buyers pool, your clientele. So in a way, are there any specific kind of like demographic groups of buyers or lifestyle segments that you have identified that is the target market for your particular landed home kind of developments, right? And if there is, then how do you really tailor your design? Like maybe, for example, the Gen Z or the younger generation or the older generation, what kind of things that you will design and the amenities that will cater to their unique preference? So like, how do you usually do your target audience? Do you reach out to a mass, or do you have a niche group of buyers that you target?
We don't specifically target a certain demographic group, but I mean, as I mentioned, we always design to cater for multi-generational living. But we do get feedback from the market saying that, the people who are looking for landed homes are mainly from the 40 to 50-year-old age range. Either they're looking to upgrade from their condominiums, or they're looking for larger landed homes. And these people, these group of people usually have 2 to 3 kids, and they're looking for like 4 to 5 bedrooms in general. So we take these into account when designing our developments. And how do we really focus on catering for multi-generational living? We like what Raymond mentioned just now, open floor plans. We also look at where we situate elements such as the stairs and the lift core, because these are structural elements that are difficult to change in the future even if you undergo major renovations. And it's also very costly to change the location of it. So situating them at the correct location from the start allows you to free up the space, free up the plan for future reconfiguration. And also, we do have spaces with interchangeable functions. For example,
Flexi room, flexi kind of design.
yeah, so
Right.
if you want to expand your a room, you can easily knock down the walls by not having the column in the middle. And also, we also plan for rooms that, for example, in our developments, our entertainment rooms always come with an attached bathroom, so that the homeowners can convert it into a bedroom if there is a need.
There's a need to, right, okay. So I understand, so you mentioned that it's basically more towards like multi-gen living, you know, families with 2, 3 children,
Yeah.
Staying together. How about Raymond for your side, Da Vinci? I understand that your company is more luxe. You know, do you have like a very niche group of customers that you are target towards?
Well, I wouldn't say niche. I mean, the fact that clients are buying landed properties, I would say that these clients form the middle to upper, groups in Singapore. So obviously, anybody who's here, this being a landed convention, you are all our clients. So I don't think we have a specific need, a specific target group. We of course try to be a little bit more different, as Wayne has mentioned. We try to do something a bit more upscale. We try to convince buyers why it's better to buy from a landed developer over buying an old piece of land and doing it yourself. So there are pros and cons to each method. You can buy an old property and build up your properties, get a builder to build it up, or talk to a professional like us. And I can assure you, if renovating a condominium is tough, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have gone through that process before, I can guarantee you building a landed house is going to be a lot of a headache. So you want to talk to people like us. So our audience would be people who believes in working with a landed developer to make sure that the process of going into the new house and moving into the new house still fits their idea of a dream home and do it with ease.
So do you have a lot of customers coming to you during the design phase, trying to get some ideas from you, or to be part of the whole entire design process?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, this is what, we have this terminology within the company. It's called the Da Vinci Experience. So the Da Vinci Experience is really a bunch of sessions where the home buyers comes with us from the beginning. We try to do what we call bespoke homes, tailor-made homes. So we don't really provide a brochure and sell you the brochure. We have a standard brochure that we provide to the clients, but the whole process is about a tailor-made experience where the home buyers would talk to us about what they want in a house. So it could be a 6-room house, as seen in a brochure, but it could eventually be a 4-room house or a 5-room house. You can have a bigger living room or a bigger dining room if you want. We have a pool. Maybe you don't want a pool, we can remove the pool. So it's really the whole entire purchase process, not just the changes of a floor tile, but the entire design of the interiors of the house, and perhaps even the exterior of the house as well.
Great. So actually, coming to that, from what I understand, that is basically your differentiation, the Da Vinci kind of experience. So that brings me to my next question, which is differentiation. And I'm sure we all know that this whole entire landed market is a very competitive market. Every developers will have their own USPs, have their own selling points, right? So I just want to understand from, probably like from Frax as well, is there any one particular selling point that's very unique to Frax that you have it like your DNA in your developments?
I think
Just maybe also an innovative feature that you roll it out.
Okay, so one of our top priority at FRX is really location.
Right,
so
location.
we buy land at areas that we ourselves want to live in. So when you buy FRX development, you're guaranteed a good location. And we also ensure that the value and appeal of the development retains over time. Meaning that in the next 5 to 10 years, the product itself actually still yields marketability and salability. How do we do this? It's really to use high construction quality, materials that last. It is a very important thing to have materials that last over time. Also in the area of sustainability, you don't want to keep changing things, keep renovating. So I think for us, we understand that, for example, we understand that the market likes certain aesthetics, for example, like the timber decks and timber ceiling. But in Singapore, when timber is exposed to the rain and sun daily, it weathers really quickly. So it's very difficult for homeowners to maintain as well. And how do we mitigate it? We select materials that have the same feel but last and weather better, such as timber look-alike tiles for the decking areas, or like for the ceilings, we use timber look-alike aluminium. So, it's a bit more fuss-free for the owners to maintain. But, having said that, it is also the owner themselves have to maintain the internal and external areas to ensure that, they can sell in the future, if they decide to do so.
Right. So for Raymond, Da Vinci, of course, your experience is the key differentiation. But apart from that, from the property's perspective, is there any unique thing that I can get from a Da Vinci property?
Well, so I'm a home buyer myself, just like everybody else. I buy homes for my own self, for the family to live in. I think one of the things that I sometimes share with clients and with the agencies is that when you think about it, if you drive through landed enclaves in Singapore, I find that the houses that homeowners build tend to look a lot better. I mean, homeowners that engages an architect and then they build their own homes. So obviously, homeowners likes to spend a bit more money when it comes to construction, materials and all that. So our goal is to ensure that as a developer, we can build houses that equals, if not better, what a homeowner goes through when they talk to an architect. So architecture-wise is obviously very important. Of course, as Joanne mentioned, locations. We try to make sure that we get land that we like to live in as well, ourselves. But of course, it's not just the land itself, but the architecture portion of it, the facade. I think if you want to buy a handbag, for example, if you buy a handbag from, let's say, Chanel, you don't just think of Chanel as a very nice zipper on the inside, but the aesthetics of it is very important as well. So when we build houses, we want to make sure that the aesthetics look good as well, and not just the aesthetics of the exterior, but the interior as well. So one of the core points about our sales process that I think differentiates us from the rest is that, you see me sitting on the stage here, but in a sales process, when you come to see our houses, you'll see me as well. I'll be the one that's presenting to you. I'll be the one that's presenting to you as a client, as the founder of the company, but not only myself, but also my architects that would be presenting to every homeowner as well from the onset of the first meeting. So I guess it's really a very tight hand-holding process that we have with the clients throughout the whole process.
Yeah, and sorry, and adding on to what Raymond has said, yeah, it's important to be attentive to our buyers and, you know, guide them throughout the whole process. Because, you know, buying a house is not a small thing, you know. It's very important to make them feel reassured. And how FRX does it is to always be there with them every step of the way and also guide them through. Like, for example, if they do have certain things that they want to change to the layout, we would try to accommodate as much as possible.
I think that's usually like the kind of like given kind of like mindset consumers will have when they buy a landed home, especially when they buy from developers. Because most of the time when I speak to customers, they always say that, oh, usually I will just get a developer to do this, you do that, you just combine the bedrooms or add some new features in, right? So is there any specific use of technology that you actually use that can help to simplify the whole entire buying process? Maybe from using like, for example, right now using VR or any form of like technology that you have adopted that make the whole entire, because buyers are they're getting smarter today. It's no longer the using of like floor plans and stuff. Of course, you still use floor plans, but any form of technology that you use in your company, or it's just basically still that human touch?
I feel that the human touch is still very important.
Still very important.
Yeah. Although there are a lot of virtual tours nowadays, but in our experience, we think that having a show unit and show flat still, you know, gives the experience cannot be replaced.
Right.
So what we do is we have a sales gallery for our landed projects where you can come and visit and see the materials that we use, and we will walk you through, the agents or I myself will walk them through where this material will be, what you can expect, and we'll run them through the appliances that we provide as well. Whereas for our condo projects, for example, the Hill Shore, which we launched recently, we still have a physical show flat, and people like to come and touch and feel, you know.
I think this business, this real estate business, it still requires that touch. I mean, of course, we can have a lot of technology like VR, virtual tour, but at the end of the day, before you even sign on the dotted line, you still want to see the physical thing, touch the material, and have a look at the place itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that as well. I mean, so obviously there are two ways of doing it. One is to do it through technology, and I'm sure the VR tours here are fantastic, and which we do use them ourselves, because sometimes, I mean, the fact that we are selling landed homes, a lot of times our homes are sold before the houses are actually built. So how does a homeowner actually feel, visualize the homes before the house is built? So of course we use tools like 3D renders, 3D walkthroughs, virtual tours, where homeowners can visualize the space in between the living room and the dining room, and to try to see what kind of ceiling heights are they looking at when they are in these tours here. Of course, then there's the use of these sales galleries, where we have the materials for them to touch and feel. I think that's super important. So throughout the process, the architects would be there with the homeowners to guide them through the whole process.
All right, thank you. Maybe for final words, maybe some word of advice for our buyers over here. If they want to buy a landed home and to make sure that their homes are future-proof in a way that they know that whatever they get into will be able to last them for maybe say the next 5 to 10 years, is there any specific advice that you want to give to them? Like things that you definitely need to have in a home, do not compromise on that, stuff like that. Any form of advice? Or always go for the good location, always go for something that, you know that there's an exit strategy in place.
I think if at the end of the day, you want a property that holds value, right? Yeah, so all these really come into place, and, it will affect how you can maintain the value. And I think in terms of future-proofing, it's really dependent on your lifestyle as well. Some people, they might not think that a lift is necessary, but to me it is. It is quite important lah.
To me as well.
Yeah, and I think it is.
So things like solar panels, EV charger, even though you don't own an EV vehicle, but it's good to always have a provision for EV charger in case that you need it in future. Right? Solar panels, lift, probably like what Raymond has mentioned, in your living hall, make sure that it is of a good space. You don't have really too much of a pillar and stuff like that inside the house, right? Yeah. So any other things that I may have missed out?
Well, I would say, I mean, future proofing is really a very big topic. So I would even go to the extent of saying, when we are buying homes, obviously we hope that, we're going to stay in these houses